Hi, I'm Mars from StrataGames, and today we're playing some more Mono Blue Terror. Dimir Terror has been a powerhouse in the format for the last couple months since Pauper, and generally, at this point, I think seen as the better version of Terror, just because it can handle elves a lot better, as well as some other decks where you need some hard removal. But I think that Mono Blue can still probably be good, and I want to see how it is in the format. So, we're playing Tolarian Terror, Cryptic Serpent, and we're on a Delver list, as opposed to any Murmuring Mystic lists or anything like that. We're playing Counterspell. I like to Deprive in the deck. I've found these to be almost as good as Counterspell in every scenario, occasionally even better, although sometimes worse. But I just like having more Counterspells in the deck, so I've been liking this version. Of course, we have Forlorien, Deep Analysis. Cantrips, we have Brainstorm, Mental Note, some Ponders, Thought Scours. Let's get some of this down here. I like a couple Vapor Snags. I'm not really a Demon Inferior fan. I know Illuminati, who's like the terror god, plays Demon Inferior. I'm sure that they're probably right about that, but I'm not a big fan of it, so I play Vapor Snag instead. And Sleep with the Dead, of course. A couple Spell Pierce and Ponder, we mentioned those. Sideboard, we have Blue Blast, Hydroblast, a couple Envelop, Steel Sabotage, and Gutshot. So, let's take this for a league and see how it fares in the current meta. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. I've written a comprehensive guide on how to play White Weenie in Pauper, including my ideal stock list, over 30 sideboard matchups, and a sideboard cheat sheet, which gives you a very easy snapshot view and what to sideboard for every single matchup. I also have guides for Black Sack and Esper Affinity. Each guide is only $15, and if you buy one, you will get all future updates that I ever make to that guide for free. I also offer coaching, so if you're interested in upping your Pauper game for any of the decks that I'm very proficient in, or if you're interested in having me play your deck in a future video, you can do a deck donation, which is the only way you'll ever see me playing Cycle Storm or Flickertron. By the way, are you planning on getting out to one of the big Pauper events this summer, like Pauper Genesis or the Common Ground Cup? I would like to. I guess that's coming up real soon, isn't it? Pauper Genesis is like a month away. I would very much like to go to Pauper Genesis. I'd be interested in the Common Ground Cup too, but I'm not sure I'll be able to do both, and I think Pauper Genesis would probably be my pick. Hand looks okay. So, yes, my main problem is that I don't know if I have anyone to go with me for Pauper Genesis, and it's like an 8-hour drive or something like that, plus hotels for a few nights, and it's pretty tough to do that then. They're just coming out with Tomb Raider. PG capped a few days ago at 196 players, as in it's full, or like they set their cap. I could Vapor Snag this. I could just do that later on a turn where they like Bushwhacker or something. So I think I might as well just take it. And do we just go for the Brainstorm here? I think I'm just gonna Mental Note first. Deprive and Delver. It's currently full. Okay, well in that case I did not sign up, so I would not be going to that. I know Pauper Genesis is getting pretty close to full, and I probably need to decide if I want to go to that. Illuminati's list is also being piloted by Illuminati, who could go positive with a Trash Terror list. That is very true, but I generally expect if they've found that is the best, the list that they like, it's probably the best list. But I understand what you're saying, and you're definitely right about that. And then they have Reckless Impulse, and I have no Spell Pierce in sight. Rally and Galvanic. Let's see. I guess we're going to Brainstorm here. Counterspell's decent. Put back 2 Mental Notes, I guess. We'll draw one of them. I can counter the Rally. Yeah, so I think I can probably get the time and cash to go to Pauper Genesis. It's just traveling all the way there and hotels and everything by myself is going to be tricky. So like I said, I gotta confirm with a couple friends to see if anybody else wants to go, but I would like to. Galvanic Blast us for just 2. I could Vapor Snag, but the problem is this has haste and this gives the mana back, so neither of these is extremely good to Vapor Snag. I guess it is still less damage from doing the Emissary, though. I will say there is I've been meaning to mention this in some videos for a little while. Oops. I accidentally pressed F2 I pressed 2 because there was like some dust on it. So that was great. SEG Con Cincinnati is coming up in like a week. Yeah, week and a half. So if anybody's in the area or able to drive, we managed to convince them to run a 1K for Pauper on Saturday, which is great. In addition, there's tons of smaller side events throughout the weekend. But yeah, there's going to be a 1K on the Saturday. So if anybody is close enough to come, definitely make sure to do that. There's a Pauper 1K in Chicago area in 10 days. Sounds like probably the same weekend. But yeah, if anyone's in the Chicago area, definitely should do that. All we're doing is milling a bunch. And we're not getting any of our creatures. Well, there's one 1/1, but that's not really going to be good enough, I don't think. There's a Cryptic Serpent. I guess I'm going to hope to draw a Terror here. Oh, we did draw a Terror. Maybe we can stabilize, but it seems tough. We're going to take 3 here, so if they can just have 2 bolts, we'll die. Synth after Mountain is crazy for carves. I'll be at SCG Cincinnati, but judging Saturday, Sunday. Oh, nice. That's pretty sweet. We're going to die to any damage spell here. Yeah, dead to a Galv. That's pretty sweet, though. Definitely say hey if you see me around somewhere. Hydro, Blue Elemental, and Envelop are all good. Hoping to go to the Pauper thing in Louisville in June. Yeah, there's also in June, there's a big pre-modern event happening. It's like a 5K, but they're doing a Pauper 1K on the same day. As well. So that's another sweet one to watch out for. Vapor Snag honestly didn't even seem that good. Like, it feels like interaction, but it's hardly interaction. I guess it kills a token. Ideally, I'm countering those tokens, though. I don't know. I mean, I feel like Delvers are not actually very good. Maybe I just cut the Delvers and keep Sleeps. We have a Spell Pierce. This is just 1 Spell Pierce. That's basically all this hand is. I don't think we can keep that. I mean, this is an Envelop and a Mental Note at least, so we'll keep this one. But yeah, what about anybody else? Is anybody else planning to go to Pauper Genesis or Common Ground Cup or anything? We mill Mental Note, Blue Blast. Let's pass. Where's Common Ground Cup? It's in Tennessee, I think. Columbia, Tennessee, something like that. Oh, in Nashville. Okay. Relic. They got a Relic, which is decent, but luckily they don't have the mana to crack it, and I could actually get a Terror down right away. Nashville area. Understood. Yeah. So around there. Touch Far for me. Sounds fun, though. Yeah, same for me. I mean, same as Pauper Genesis. I think it's like 6 hours or something, so it's probably not that bad, but still a bit. I mean, I could attack, then they get to chump here and maybe get a land that they're missing. It doesn't feel very good. Lightning Bolt. Wait, you are playing Terror? I am playing Terror. Switched over from Jund after that league. Deprive list he played earlier. Yeah, double Burning Tree. I really like Deprives in the deck. I have been enjoying them, that is. The Envelop was really good, but Double Burning Tree is still scary. Hydroblast is decent. Do I want to sleep one of these guys? Probably not, because if they attack, I can block. I could Hydro the other one. I'm not sure I want to waste the Hydro. Not waste, but use the Hydro on just that. Alright, there's a Relic. Need to wait a second Serpent. Yeah. I agree. It's going to be tough with this Relic, but... I could Ponder. Ponder can find me a counter spell, but I already have a counter spell. And then they just get to Relic it away. So does it actually help to Ponder now? I feel like I'm just waiting. Sleep is looking unfortunate now. I agree. 6 mana already. You're right. Yeah, I could definitely just play hard cast a Serpent pretty soon here. There's a Bolt. Clockwork. I mean, that's going to be a card later. I think it's fine. This might incentivize them to attack, and then I will block a Burning Tree and Hydra the other, I think, because I can't afford to take 5 here, which means this is in the grave, so maybe I should have just pondered anyway, but whatever. I have enough mana to just do that next turn, probably. Down to 8. Counterspell, Ponder, Island, Ponder. I might as well keep the Ponder, because it's just a free card I can put in my grave, but then I'll probably just shuffle, because I don't want to draw a bunch of islands. Brainstorm, but we'll just put back a bunch of islands. Yeah, we gotta shuffle that. Yeah, I mean, if I attack, that's no good. I could sleep. Maybe I should do that at this point, but they crack the Relic. Bushwhacker, counter. Usually set out sleeps unless there are no other choice for to rally. Yeah, it was one that I cut, and then I decided to cut the Delvers instead, and the Vapor Snags, which I'm playing. So it's definitely not one that I loved or wanted to have. Mental Note, Lorien. I kind of want to hardcast a Lorien, but do I even have time for that? I feel like I should just Mental Note. Yeah, because I need to hold up Counterspell too. Get an island. 5 spells. Yeah, we're just going to pass. Hello there. How are you today? I'm doing great. How are you doing? Wait a turn or mill. Yeah, I agree. I wanted to wait to go for the Lorien, but it felt like I probably didn't have the time to do it. They don't attack. Okay, Cryptic Serpent, and I can only sleep one of these, so is it even worth it? I mean, I could attack. I probably need to start attacking, right? I just need to hope their top, several cards are bad. Sleep's now good now, I guess. Yeah. I wish I had one more card and I could sleep both of these, but I think we'll hope they don't get something great here and then sleep this guy. They got a mountain. That's good. And then hope we draw a bunch of counterspells. Discard a mountain. Play a mountain. They have a relic. Well, that's annoying. Crack the relic right away. Lorien revealed. Hope that doesn't get pyroed. Okay, well, that wasn't great, but we can brainstorm. Okay, put these back. I can mill them, and I have a deprive. So I think I just slam. Broken. That was a very good turn, for sure. Tomb Raider. You have 2 cards. I mean, I gotta counter a Tomb Raider, right? Because it blocks, but it also just puts us to 3, which means I'd have to counter a Lightning Bolt anyway. I'll counter that. See if there's something worse that I die to now. Bushwhacker, and they have another Bushwhacker. Their draws were broken. That's not fair. Thought Scour. Oh, another Lorien revealed. That's great. Well, that was unfortunate. Prive is a really interesting pick in this deck. Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm pretty happy with it because not only do I think it works pretty well, but I do a lot of brewing and tinkering with things. But generally, there's so many people playing decks, and I don't play this deck a ton. That usually it's suggestions that other people have made, but Deprive is one that I actually found. I'm sure other people have played it in the past. I'm not saying I was the first person to ever think of it, but without anybody else mentioning it, I found it and thought it was pretty good. And so maybe that's why I'm a little too attached to it. Maybe it's not the best thing to be playing, but I still think it's good enough. I like it. Mono red claiming another life. Indeed. Too strong. Ancient Den, Novice Inspector. Okay, this could be like Orzhov Glintblade, or it could be the new-ish mono-white aggro list with Ornithopters and Phyrexian Walkers and stuff. I actually just played that deck today on the channel, so it's kind of cool. Ooh, so I can grab the Cryptic Serpent and then mill these 2 in my upkeep. That's already 4. Then I can Thought Scour. I can probably start landing these pretty quick. I think that's good. More like another 20 lives. Got him. Okay, or it's just Boros Synth. Or Moxite. Some sort of Boros deck. Oh, I was supposed to mill that, but it's fine. I mean, getting the Brainstorm's not that bad. I would draw... Okay, there you go. Perfect. I accidentally did the correct play. I would draw the Brainstorm. It's so good. I was thinking about that, too. I just figured, I could get these guys milled out so quick, but you're probably right. I mean, you're probably right about this deck, I guess. I guess maybe you have some insight that's worth listening to. They just crack a clue, which is nice. Attack for 1. So we know the top card of our deck is a mental note, so I can probably... They're not playing anything? That's crazy. So we can do this. We mill a Thought Scour, so that's 4. I just now realized who you are, Lumi. yeah. So, okay, so here I could cycle Lorien to reliably hit our land drop. I go up to 5 spells engrave, and then I could Thought Scour or Brainstorm, maybe play a Terror. Oh, I could Brainstorm, play a Terror, set up a Delver. That seems good. Lorien, yeah. See, I'm learning. I'm a little surprised you haven't recorded anything about White Weenie yet. Elite Interceptor is pretty good buff to the deck. There were just so many cards from Strixhaven that I needed to get to, that you're right. I have been meaning to get to that. I haven't tried it out yet, to be honest, but I don't know. I didn't think it was actually going to be that good. I do want to try it in the deck, but I was concerned. I didn't figure it was actually going to be that good. I don't know what I'm saying. Yes, I think I do need to try it out, though. It will probably be a video that I put up next week, though. Maybe even, pretty soon, early next week. We could set up double Delver. Last 2 sets were really impactful. Yeah, it's better to start with Tolarian Terror because of the ward. Yes. Yeah, for sure. Rather than the Serpents. Okay, so I'm trying to set up a Delver to flip here. So I guess I have a land drop, so I'll put back Lorien, Thought Scour, and then we Terror, and then Delver. Elite is horrible in White Weenie. That was my initial thought, but I haven't actually tested it, and sounds like we have some people think it is good, some people think it's bad, so there's nothing wrong with that. Journey to Nowhere, so they get the Terror, but they have to spend their whole turn to do it, so that's not too bad. I feel like you don't need Inspector number 9 onward, and having it be a sorcery over a clue is a big difference, maybe a couple, but not a playset. That is generally what I have thought. But again, we got to try it out to see. I have a Lorien on top, so I could play Delver and Serpent, or I could just play 2 Serpents, which are enormous. Going to be harder for them to kill. They need more journeys. I think that seems good. And the next turn, I can Delver, Thought Scour, and hold up Deprive. They have a Synth for Thraben Charm. So they can exile our graveyard, but I just got out my Serpent, so I don't care too much. And they don't have enough creatures unless they play untapped land, 2 white 1-drops to kill either one of these. Elite also taps stuff, which is not nothing. Actually won me a game because I tapped their 1 flyer and sneaked a Leo for a game. Yeah, tapping is definitely relevant. I just think a lot of the play patterns of wanting to lead on an Inspector, bouncing with the core Skyfisher might make it worse. But the tapping and untapping does seem like it could do some stuff. Try to keep open with counter, but it's reasonable. Yeah, I thought about, you're saying just play 1 Serpent, hold up Deprive? Because I was thinking about doing that too, because obviously if they play a Journey, exile a Serpent, we have 1 Serpent left. Whereas if they play a Journey and I counter it, we still have 1 Serpent. We also have a Serpent in hand. So this Deprive kind of turns into another Serpent. So that seems very reasonable. I guess I wanted to do this because it felt like if they didn't have another Journey, which there's a decent chance they might not, then I get to just be very aggressive here. But I understand what you're saying. Okay, so in this situation, Lumi, would you cycle a Lorien because you want to hit your next land drop? Or would you hold it because we're so close to being able to hardcast it? Because I want to like get greedy and hold it, since we don't necessarily need the land anyway. They're going to bolt this before blocks, which is smart, because if I want to counter it, then they don't have to chump with their Glint Hawk. We don't need to cycle. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thought Scour can find a land. Potentially can find a land. It's not a guarantee, though. Even less with Deprive. Yes, definitely fair, because I'm going to Deprive this right now, and we get to just play another land that we're bouncing here. So now they're going to jump with the Inspector. And we can play a Delver. Play a Lorien next turn. I mean, if we hit a land drop. Thought Scour has no guarantee of hitting a land is the thing. Synth into Glint Hawk, pretty good. Hold the mill for the Delver if surviving. Gotcha, yeah. Synth. So you're saying hold the Scour to see what we get off the Delver in case we don't want it. That makes sense. Playing blue with Lumi, cheat code support. You know, if they're here and want to offer some advice, I think that's pretty reasonable, right? Blessing us with wisdom from on high. Exactly. So let's see what Delver turns up. It's an island. No, we don't want to reveal. I could just keep the island and then Lorien. Or I could Thought Scour it away and we get 2 draws for something else. I feel like probably draw. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's what I was thinking. But I guess if it was like a snake, I wouldn't want it at this point because it's not very good. They're going to do this again and then trade with the Inspector. We can redo the Scry again. Or the... I gotcha, yeah. Yeah, I think this is fine. I could try to dig for a counter spell, but I think that's okay. Chances we hit it are low, and I just want to get the Lorien. If they don't exile our graveyard, you know, pretty good again. Tell me why with Delver on board, you're never going to draw a single instant sorcery for the rest of the game. Yeah, it does feel that way sometimes. I mean, this card's got to have a downside in the late game, right? It's really good early, and then in the late game, it just says you're not allowed to draw instants and sorceries anymore. After, like, turn 3. Oh, Bojuka Bog. That's annoying. I mean, we only have 2 spells in there, but Hold Scour also because Bojuka Bog or something. It's like you're a wizard. Yeah, good call. Saw this game where a Terra player had 3 Delvers on board and none of them flipped for 4 turns. I played against my buddy at one of the Winna duels and had that exactly, where he did not have any of them flip for, like, 4 or 5 turns. We get a counterspell here, so that's pretty good. Let's Ponder and Island Brainstorm. I mean, I don't hate playing an island, but this probably doesn't seem good enough. I mean, I can mill too. I think we'll just shuffle. Spell Pierce is maybe okay. If they go for another bolt on this, I can Spell Pierce it. Lumi is a wizard. Trust in the Lumi, and Lumi will trust in you. Exactly. Yep, they're going to Galvanic. I can Spell Pierce. Really called it. It wasn't even clear our opponent played black. Yeah. I mean, our opponent probably doesn't play black. They're probably just playing a Bojuka Bog, I think. I think it's Boros. They're just splashing that because it's basically a colorless land. It's pretty good when they do that. I could Thought Scour now, but I don't think that changes anything. So let's just wait. Synth. I think I'd rather counter like a Glint Hawk or a removal spell or something. Crack at a Synth. Okay. Galvanic Blast. I mean, they're probably going to Galvanic us unless they have a way to kill the Serpent, which is a lot of damage on us. It's weird mana-based approach. It affects... keeps kind of... Yeah, they play 1 or 2 Bojuka to bounce with core. Yeah, it's pretty good. Galvanic Blast. So if we go to 9, our Serpents are not getting through very well. I'm going to Thought Scour first, see how likely we can play some more Serpents. We mill an Island and a Delver, so we only have 3 spells, so that's not great. I can counterspell to make it 4, and that means I can play both of these. I think that makes it worth it. But also, I am a little worried about getting burned out and hit with Flyers. I think we're going to go for it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bojuka was there just to cycle it with Core Skyfisher and not because this is Mardu. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Bojuka's just a very... Like, if this was a fully colorless land, it would just be very strong. And the fact that it's black just throws people off. But yeah, I don't expect this to be Mardu. I think it's just Boros. Alright, I'm going to just play these Serpents, and then next turn I can Lorien. Because these are all lethal, so they have to... Even with a Lembas, they're lethal. So they have to get a removal spell, 3 chump blockers, something like that. Well, another chump blocker. Skyfisher. So that could just buy back Bojuka Bog, but the graveyard isn't super relevant. So yeah, they pick up the Synth. Great Furnace, Synth, Exiles Mountain. Garrison over Bridges basically guarantees it's Boros. Yeah, that is a good indication. Core Skyfisher. hit all lands off of this synth. That's pretty good for us. They did get the blockers. They lost connection to the game. Not running Demon Mystic, right? Correct. I'm on Delvers instead of Mystics and Vapor Snag. Vapor Snag and Deprive over Demon Furior would be very good here. You're right. Definitely would be strong here, but no need. Yeah, I think we'll be all right. I mean, if they like, I don't know. If they have like a Thraben Charm or something, kill one of our guys, triple block another one, chump, then attack, put us to 9, and then they have a couple Galvanics, we could definitely lose. But like, I think we're in an okay spot. Assuming they come back, we'll see what happens. Top deck sleep for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's the dream. Then I get to regret not cycling the Lorien for the triple tap, but not sure how relevant this is, but the deck list pop-up thingy on stream contains Jund Wildfire. Yeah, I hadn't swept that over. If it will be sleep on top, I will be mad. Don't be mad. Just accept it. Opponent sneaking a snack, you know? I had the decency to not do it during game, you know? You're right, this is totally Jund. Exactly. It's definitely Jund. Alright, deck list should be updated. Counterspell, very famous card in black, red, green mid-range. I mean, it's a good card. Good value. You gotta have it there. Start the challenge soon. Good luck in the league. Good luck in the challenge. I always forget there's one on Thursday, although I usually have other stuff to be doing, but I'm sure you'll crush it. Mono Blue is called Soggy Jund. That's what they call it. Reduke says all decks are Jund. In what way? I'm very interested in that quote, because as a Jund aficionado, I figured he would, have a very clear delineation between what is Jund and what is not. But if everything's Jund, what does it matter? You were joking? Oh. Okay, sorry, new rule. No jokes. Jokes are not allowed. People were asking what I want banned. I want jokes banned. I just want people to have less fun, Can we get a signed certificate from Reed confirming that Mono Blue mid-range is indeed basically Jund? That might be tough. If everything is Jund, then Reed Duke is a master of every deck. I mean, exactly. That's why he said that. He was like, all I need to do is learn one deck better than anybody else, and then declare that all decks are that deck. And then I'm the master of everything. He said, jack of all trades, master of none? No. Master of all trades. Well, I'm pretty sure they only got about a couple minutes before this is gonna time them out. So hopefully they come back soon. Jack of all trades, master of Jund. That's what they say. You know that old phrase. Since Sticker Goblin got banned, I guess they really did ban jokes in the format. Yeah, I mean, they don't like jokes, that's for sure. I mean, WotC is the number one group of people who are trying to ban fun in Magic, I feel like. So, well, since there's time, look, there's a cat. I hope my views go up precipitously and we're suddenly viral and I can just extract all the value from my cat as you would a Cauldron Familiar. A sacred cat. Praise the cat. Gates player confirmed. I unveiled it on this stream. Gates player confirmed. Karkland Shaman is still legal. I'm pretty sure it's a joke. Yeah, fair. Forgive me, why were we just waiting around? Did the opponent DC? Yes, they did. Sorry, I forgot that you can't see this. But yes, they DC'd, and unfortunately, they did not come back. So, we won! How great. I think we were going to win that game, but who knows if we were going to win the match. Not how I like to get wins. Show off the creature again. This creature? She's a real pain. There's never, 10 minutes without her in my lap. She's here even if you don't see her almost every single time I'm streaming or recording, frankly. Too scared of Soggy Jund. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Why? Why do we have to be on the draw against the land grant player with a Spell Pierce in hand? This is crazy. This is unfair. Cat, new star of the stream. Oh gosh. Now nobody's going to want to watch me. Oh, and another land grant. That's crazy. Which I guess means that the first Spell Pierce wouldn't have actually mattered, but still could have been cool. Well, I hope people will still be entertained by me, a human, even if the cat is not on stream the entire time. Overgrown Battlement. Can't do anything about that. Another L for the Boros community. Unfortunate. They need some help, for sure. Camera seems to be focused on some boring human. Please fix it. Right away. Moldy Jund combo deck is really tough to beat. Yeah, that's true. what do we do here? I could just cycle a Lorien. We want to hold up Counterspell next turn for sure, because they could just like cast a Troll or something. Not that that's great, so I feel like Brainstorm doesn't help too much. Yeah, let's just cycle Lorien. Do we hold mana to counter Spy? 1, 2. Wait, they've used 2 land grants, so these forests are both gone. So the chance they have Spy and the land is probably low. I mean, we're probably gonna hold up Counterspell, but I don't know if it's for Spy. But like legitimately they could just play 1, 2, 3, 4. They could just play like a Troll or something, which if I counter that, then we could lose to a Spy pretty close after, so that's tough, but I don't know. There's a generous set. Do you know what would be terrible? If it's a new build of Spy that runs like 3 lands because the new Rampant Growth guy from the new set. Well, the Rampant Growth guy doesn't change how many lands they need to run, right? Don't they still need to run 4 lands so that they can cast a Spy on... I guess there's nothing really mandating they run 4 lands, but... Axebane Guardian. So, the last cards in their hand are Forest... They cycled this. Wait, did they play this Caretaker? Oh my gosh. So many land grants all in a row trips me up. So they must have Spy Forest left, right? Because they cycled a Generous Set. Yes. So if I counter this, then we lose to Spy. So I can't counter this. So we will not. Get Catbed and Cat Cam. Watch view numbers explode. You know, that might be the play. I know a lot of other people are very successful with that. Okay, another counterspell's good. Put back land Spell Pierce, because that's irrelevant. Thought Scour. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deprive. I mean, we don't have double counterspell, so if they somehow get like a second Spy, we're dead regardless. So I might as well Delver or Ponder. Probably Ponder to set up Delver. Well, Ponder to set up land drop for next turn so I can double counterspell. I think that's probably better. Oh, get out of here. Mental Note, Spell Pierce, and apparently I clicked the Spell Pierce. I mean, that's probably fine, because I think I want to get rid of these anyway, because I want to hit a land drop. Yeah, let's just shuffle. Perfect. If your cat is Scared Cat or Sacred Cat, I guess that makes you Guardian of the Guild Pact. Sacred Cat. Sure, I'll be the Guardian of the Guild Pact. I took an oath, probably. I want to see if your opponent is one of those maniacs who run Jack-o'-lantern or Flaring Pain in the main. That seems unlikely. They gotta lead the Stampede, which I have to let resolve, because otherwise they Spy and I die. That's annoying. They got a Mezfiend and another Spy, but that's fine because I have multiple counter spells, so I'm not dead. Feels more like a Cauldron Familiar to me, but I don't want to call Marsha Pestilence. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. I might get hurt feelings, you know. Totally fair card. Oh, absolutely. Oh, they just have enough to double Dread Return, and they haven't used Quirion Rager, so they can double Spy, right? Because they had 1,000,000 mana. So is there any way I can stop them? No? Yeah, as long as they're running 2 Dread Returns, I'm dead. Something should be banned to ban Lead the Stampede and Winding Way, lol. You know, that wouldn't hit any deck that I care about, so I wouldn't hate that. Dread Return. Yeah, we're dead. Writhing Chrysalis for me. I think Chrysalis is fine, but I've said that a few times. Not gonna lie to you, I wouldn't mind seeing Spy out of the format. Same, I would not be upset to not play against this deck. I don't necessarily think it needs to get banned, but I'm also not a big fan. So there's Lotleth Giant, so I counter this, and then they flash back another one, and we are dead. My ban thoughts are based only on what deck I just lost to. Exactly, so ban Spy, Lead the Stampede, Winding Way, Cerulean Caretaker. What else? Alright, we get Envelop. Gutshot's not very good. Vapor Snag could be relevant against Fiend, or yeah, it could be relevant in general, so we'll keep that. Same with Sleep. Probably want to keep Cantrips. I guess Spell Pierce is mostly useless. Let's just get rid of those. Hope soon we'll say bye to Spy. It's been around for a little while. I'm not sure we're gonna see it banned anytime soon, unless it gets even better again. Ban Spy, not the card, the deck. Yes, every single card played in any Spy deck, I agree, should be banned. Land grant again. But again, they have 2 land grants, so even if I had the Spell Pierce, wouldn't matter. Gosh. Alright, so their current hand is these. Spell Pierce on the play could hit the land grant. It probably won't, but man, if it does, yeah. I mean, that's what we almost had last turn, or last game, but they were on the play, and also they had 2 land grants. And again, here they have 2 land grants, so it doesn't even matter. Do I want to Brainstorm? Let's see, they next turn have Wall of Roots. That's it. So yeah, I want to make sure this flips off a Mental Note, I guess, or a Thought Scour, and then start attacking. Oh, so ban all 75 cards in the Spy deck. So if we make Spy players splash blue for Counterspell, then we could effectively get it banned as well. Exactly. Never mind, I'm a Forest gamer at heart. We can't be banning Basic Forest. No. Basic Forest is already gone. We've all agreed this is best for the format. They have a Caretaker. Replace Forest with Gingerbread Cabin. Yeah, exactly. You can play up to 4 Gingerbread Cabins. This deck only needs 3 forests anyway. It's perfect. Everybody likes Gingerbread. Hard to argue with that. Mill and Islands. Mental Notes. We have 3 spells. Upkeep, cycle their Troll. Sure, they got all their lands out of their deck. Basic lands come in untapped. Yeah, that's crazy. Lands are not supposed to come into play untapped. We all know the rules. All right, Deep Analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4. I might want to shuffle with the Lorien. If we counterspell something here, we'll be at 5. I think these are just not what we need. Let's just shuffle. Deprive is good. Pass the turn. We still have Snow-Covered Forest to play, even if they still ban Basic Forest. All right, I need someone to build a spy deck with basic, snow basics, and then it'll be covered. No green at all. That's useless. That's just an 0-2. Don't think I'm gonna ban that. Or ban. Now you got me. We were saying ban way too much. I'm gonna ban this card with my counterspell. You know, Mesmeric Fiend. Probably just ban that. Am I right? We know their last 2 cards. Then I have a Deprive for it next turn. All right. Envelop is good. So we have 6, or we have 5 cards in the grave. So I could play a Terror, but then I'm only holding up Deprive or Envelop, but their Giant isn't even going to be lethal. So yeah, let's just play Terror. The phases of a blue player's turn: untap, upkeep, ban. Exactly. As all things should be, or as it should be. Yeah, I mean, I'll just Envelop this. Speaking of banning basic lands, I remember how for a few days, the Gatherer claims that Path to Exile was pauper legal and that Basic Island was banned from the format. That's crazy. I mean, Gatherer has always been crazy. Not that I've used Gatherer since I was like 15, but, you know, still crazy. I could keep Brainstorm. 2 islands doesn't seem very good. Let's just shuffle. All right, well, we're holding up Deprive, so I'm not going to play Serpent. They're not going to block here? That means they're dead to a Aberration next turn. That's crazy. Yeah, let's pass. Can't think of a better pitch to why you should be using Scryfall over Gatherer. Exactly. Like, if they had just jumped with the Gatekeeper, they don't even lose that much. But they gain some turns. All right. Well, we won that one, and let's just go again. 1 land, Ponder, Thought Scour. We got some counter spells, but we have to spend our first turns finding lands. Yeah, what could go wrong? Sure, it's not great. We're gonna Ponder. Perfect. Island. Do you even have anything in mono blue to fight off Spy outside of just hard counters? Nope. I mean, I play 6 hard counters in the main deck and then 2 envelops in the side, which helps with Dread Returns and stuff. But no, the goal is to land a big Serpent or whatever, start beating in, and then counter everything. That is the strat. I mean, we could be playing like Relic of Progenitus or whatever in the sideboard, but we are not. All right. Well, they have 3 of their 4 lands. They have a Fiend next turn. We're getting a Lorien here, which is fine. Okay, so I can counter the Fiend, and then next turn I can counter the Spy, if that's what they have. Imagine if you now get paired with Lumi. I would just quit on the spot. Well, he said he was playing the challenge, so that's going to be unlikely. But yeah, that would be pretty demoralizing for sure. I would not be a fan. Alright, they get to attack for 1. Gate Creeper Vine finds their last land, which I could counter, but the chances they draw another card that finds their last land are extremely high. Forest, they don't go for the Fiend because they want to do it all in 1 turn, which is fair. We have a Terror on top, which I don't care to mill, and I don't care to draw at the moment, so let's just cycle a Lorien, and then we'll Mental Note. Hits an Envelop and still a Terror, but what are you going to do? Like, Envelop would be probably my best draw. Vapor Snag's decent, because I can bounce the Fiend. I mean, we're just passing here. I mean, we already have 2 counterspells, so if the Fiend takes one of them, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, so we'll let 1 resolve. Well, we'll let that resolve, obviously, because otherwise we die to the Spy. By the way, I really appreciated how to build a battle box vid. It's the only way I'm going to get people to play Magic my area from bringing everything out. Yeah, that is definitely the only way a lot of people are going to get people into the format. Oops. Yeah, I've been trying to plan that video for a couple months, and or I've had the idea for it for a couple months, and finally ended up doing it. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. People seem to enjoy it, and it like literally it's the #1 thing that I see people ask on the Pauper subreddit is, I'm building a battle box, what decks should I build? And so I thought it would be a helpful tool for people. Let's Thought Scour. Another Deprive is good. I would like to hit a land at some point. Yeah, same. I wish I had seen the video a week ago before I got my 3-deck battle box with one that has 70% win rate and the other 2. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. I wish that I made it before everyone ever created a battle box, but alas. All right, I think I have to ponder or brainstorm for a land. Probably brainstorm because I want to get rid of this sleep and this deep analysis. But if I don't hit a land, I can only hold up deprive, which is still good enough. Actually, let's do ponder because I can brainstorm at instant speed. Envelop island. Perfect. So, because I would like islands, although I can't keep the envelop and the islands. Like, I can't draw them both right now, but I will draw an island. All right, we will pass the turn. My biggest thing with battle boxes is, do I just go all tier 1 and few tier 2 decks, or we're just playing hard jank? Yeah, you can do it either way, obviously, as long as it's relatively balanced. I think with the hard jank, kind of like I mentioned, just briefly, if you do want people to learn the format, it's good to learn actually what decks are played. And so if you're doing all jank decks and then other people actually get into it and start playing meta decks, it can be kind of tough. But I think that's a fine way to do it too, and can be a lot more fun to play super weird off meta decks too. How have the non-gameplay videos been doing? You've been consistent at about one per week, and I've really liked most of them. Yeah, I've been trying to. I'm glad you and other people have noticed. I've been trying to post on Wednesday every week, mostly Wednesdays. Some different non-league video because I want to make more different types of videos, and I like a lot of different stuff. Truth be told, most of them have been doing worse than the other videos, although the BattleBox video actually did really well. In terms of views, it got more... It was 1 out of 10, which means it's the best view receiving video of the last 10 that you've posted after the first 5 hours or something like that. So it did really well. A lot of the other ones have done worse, but that's okay. I still like making them. All right, they're doing a giant here. They've tapped out, and they even used the Quarian Ranger. So I can just deprive this, I think. Because it is a giant creature I'm going to have to deal with. I could just Sleep of the Dead it, but I think I want to counter it. We bounce an island, but that's fine. Yeah, I think it's okay. And then I could brainstorm at the end step. I know that there's an envelop, an island, and something else. So I don't think I need to, actually, because now that I drew my land anyway to play. Because I still have double counter here. Yeah, we'll just pass. Really enjoyed your Black Sack analysis vid. It was a cool breakdown. I noticed you didn't mention Naya Gates, but I understand. You don't want people hard countering in tournaments. Yeah, that's exactly right. I didn't want to make your job any harder playing Naya Gates against Black Sack players. So, what do they got here? A Sagu Wildling. They're just casting big guys. So if I deprive this, I still have access to a counter spell off of the Fiend for the Spy. I think let's brainstorm and see where we're at, but I need to find some creatures. Another sleep. Let's put back double sleep and mill those both. I think I am going to counter this then, because I just need to not take the damage. Yeah, I like the non-gameplay stuff as well, sprinkled in. I bought a random collection for $60 I actually really liked. Yeah, I've always liked the random buy videos that people do of oh, I bought this thing, let's see what's in it. Always just really enjoy those, and I had the chance to do it, so I was like, let's make a video for that. Also, assuming it's easier for you to record rather than playing a 4-hour league. No, actually, most of those non-gameplay videos are way longer in terms of recording time and everything. Yeah, we're just passing here. Usually recording a league takes about 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on the deck. Occasionally it could take 3.5. Sometimes I get it done in an hour if it's a really fast deck. But any of those other decks, the thing about those other videos is that I have to think about them. For a league video, obviously I'm trying to make good quality content, and I hope that's what it is, but I just pick up a deck that I want to play, and then I just start playing it. So I don't have to spend a lot of pre-prep time, thinking about writing a script. The Black Sack, all of these videos I'm writing a script to figure out the best way to say what I want to say. I think I let this resolve now, and I just start sleeping this guy. I'm not in a great spot, because I can't find any dang terrors. Yeah, so it's oh, and they have... And they have a Fairy Macabre, which I was going to sleep this, but I got rid of both the sleeps, and they have Fairy Macabre. That was the card they were holding. That's problematic. Well, yeah, so anyway, those videos usually take a lot longer and then also don't perform as well, but I enjoy them too much, so I'm going to keep doing them. Well, we got to pass. Actually, this is something I wanted to ask you. How do you feel about splashing for red and Black Sack for impact tremor effects? Any splash in... I have to bounce this because I'm going to die otherwise. Any splash in Black Sack, I think, as much as I love it, is going to make the deck objectively worse. There's nothing wrong with trying it out if you want something fun or different, but I've tried it a lot, and it's always worse. That said, if you did want to do it, because I've tried out a lot of Gargari lists and things like that. I think Impact Tremors is not a card you would want. I mean, I think I just have to counter this. Why wouldn't you want it? It's the same type of thing. People, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but people kept talking about like doing when Heir Apparent came out. Heir Apparent, 2/2 for 2. When it enters, you make a 1/1 for every other Heir Apparent you have. Everyone, when this came out, was saying, oh, I really want to make a Boros list with this, with Impact Tremors. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because your goal is to make like 10 or 12 creatures. Impact Tremors is just like, it's just goofy. Like, why would you not just attack with your creatures and win that way? You know? Black Sack, why would you not just attack with your creatures? Impact Tremors, I feel like, I'm not saying Impact Tremors is never good. We've seen that it can sometimes be good. But it's like, why would you not just play things... why would you not just play is to make the creatures attack better and things like that, you know? And especially if you're splashing for it, I think that's just like not quite what you want to be doing. Are we diluting the game plan too much at that point? Yeah, I think so. It's fair. I was thinking you could abuse all the bodies that enter your field with Impact Tremors. Yeah, no, I understand the idea for it, but like, and they just cast the Spy. I thought maybe they wouldn't cast the Spy because we have Counterspell mana up, but I guess they ran out of other things to do. I can't even counter this. I can envelop their Dread Return, but they probably will. I mean, they'll have to, unless they have the other one in hand or something. I don't know. I can't figure out the perfect way to say it, but like Impact Tremors just seems like you're avoiding the combat step, and it's like maybe against certain decks that's decent or like the right thing to do, but like why would you not just take advantage of the combat step and like pump up your creatures or do something else with them, you know? I'd rather just play something that like gives all my creatures +2/+2 than like Impact Tremors, they take a bunch of damage. I don't know. But yeah, for Black Sack, there are a lot of other red cards I would like to try in the deck before Impact Tremors. I'm not too keen on that personally. I feel like if you want Impact Tremors, you should go Gruul for Chrysalis. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to make Black Sack another token payoffs, if you're trying to make Black Sack Impact Tremors, like there's nothing wrong with trying that. But yes, I think certainly you have other payoffs that are better in other colors. If I had my second envelop, we could just win here. Unless they had a third Dread Return. No, they don't. Well, that game was very frustrating. Impact Tremors and Heir Apparent makes more sense than you think because people were also using blink effects for what it's worth. Sure. But again, I just think you could be playing... I think... Here's the thing. You already... In just white, you already have the ability to play cards that deal a ton of damage because you have a ton of creatures. Like Guardian's Pledge. Right? So why would you splash another color to get the same effect you could already get in a mono color? I'm not saying it's exactly the same effect, but like a way of dealing additional damage for your creatures. I feel like you should just... Yeah, like splashing another color is a huge cost. You should only do it if you're getting something out of it. And I feel like people are splashing colors for cards that they could get mostly the same effect in the exact same color. That's I think what I'm trying to say. We can splash red and green and Black Sack. If we were adding Chris as well, that's basically Junt. Yeah, I mean, that is unfortunately how a lot of these things go is, this card's too good, let's splash that. And then eventually you just end up with the same meta deck that you were trying to avoid or whatever. Philology Archaeologist. This is an interesting one. This makes me think this is like Serpentine Curve, but I don't know if I even care about that. So I'm not going to counter it. Oh, or we're Jeskai with Philology. We mill Deprive and a Delver. We mill Brainstorm and a Cryptic. So that's 1, 2, 3. Only 4 spells in our yard. And we didn't draw a land drop. So I can't play Cryptic unless I draw an island here. And even if I do... Alright, well, we drew a Terror, so I can play that. I wouldn't play a Cryptic even if I could because I think it would just get killed and I'd rather have counter spells up. But since this one will take a ward trigger, I think it's fine. What do you think about Delver versus no Delver in these decks? I think that there's a lot of merit to both. Oh, we're a Sunscape Familiar deck. So we're just like Familiars in red. Interesting. I think there's a lot of merit to both. I think Delver is an incredibly powerful card. And it's the key to winning certain matchups. Like the Mirror, for example, or... I don't know, that's a good example of one. A lot of blue decks, to be honest. A lot of blue matchups, I think Delver's the key to winning. But it also sucks against Refurb and Snacker, which are two of the most powerful powerful and prevalent creatures in the format. Oh, this is crazy. I guess they're only down to 2 cards, but they mill a Snap, so they still have that in hand. So... Yeah, I think that I can see versions for both. I've tried the version without it, and I prefer the version with it, because I feel like Murmuring Mystic just makes the deck much more like controlling, and the deck has a lot of counterspells, so it already has elements of a control deck, but I don't think it actually wants to be a control deck, and I think that kind of forces it to be. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about what they can do with like so much mana that I'm not going to play a Serpent, especially because they can snap it. And I'm just going to hold up Spell Pierce and Counterspell. We already established that Black Sack is already junked, just like every other deck. Yeah, exactly. Another Archaeologist. Yeah, that's fine. This deck's kind of light on threats even with 8 terrors, so I feel like what can be a 3/2 flyer on turn 2 isn't the best idea. I feel like cutting what can be a 3/2 flyer on turn... Yeah, but like I said, the problem is that Snacker and Refurb, like, probably 40% of decks you're going to go against are one of those, and then it's just really bad against those, because Refurb is just a 2-for-1 that costs 1 mana as well, or Snacker is a 1-for-1 that comes back over and over and over, so it's essentially a 2-for-1, and then a 3-for-1, and then a 4-for-1, or whatever. So, yeah. Yeah, we're still just going to pass. I wish I was drawing lands. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's very good, but every time you go up against those matches, or even matches where it just like dies to Lightning Bolt and stuff like that, it's a lot worse. I don't think I can afford to counter this, unfortunately. Cryogen means they're probably going to be playing Ghostly Flickers. We see Archaeomancer, which, I mean, obviously it's familiar, so obviously they will be. Let's mental note. Refurb or Snacker, which one do you think is worse for the format? Well, I like Refurb better, so definitely Snacker. I guess I would say Snacker is worse for the format because it not having a color requirement, essentially, makes it so that it can go in any deck that has the right cards. Refurb is very powerful, of course. Do I even want to counter this? I don't know. We'll let it go. Refurb is very powerful, of course, but you have to be black and you have to care about artifacts. I realize that's a lot of decks in the format, but it is 2 pretty decent restrictions. You don't have to care about artifacts so much like an Affinity, but you still have to have a fair number of them, like Jund. You still have to have 20 artifacts in your deck or whatever. Yeah. So I think Snacker being a little more easy to fit into decks is a little worse for the format. Refurb is okay now. Affinity is not really a problem now. Yeah, somewhat. Snacker is worse because it is used as intended in random decks, like Boros Moxite. Refurb at least forces you to play with artifacts, which is like such a minuscule drawback. But a drawback, I would not say it's a minuscule drawback. There are many things that already incentivize you to play artifacts, so it doesn't feel like a big drawback. But like, if you play a Affinity deck, you feel the drawback. Like, you are getting your lands blown up all the time. God, I don't know what to do here. On the other hand, any deck with looting effects can run Snacker. Yeah, but I think it's the color restriction. Looting effects, you run Snacker. Black and artifacts, you play Refurb. Like, if Refurb didn't care about artifacts, if it was just a 1-mana thing, we'd run it in Black Sack because it'd be an insane card. But like, you do have that restriction, right? So, many Masked Vandal in the field is not many disadvantage. Yes, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Do I just play another Cryptic Serpent now, or do I play a Cryptic Serpent now? I'm pretty sure they still have a Snap in hand. No, they have 3 in the graveyard. No, I don't know what they got off the last Archaeologist they played. Lorien Revealed. Okay. I'm going to play a Cryptic because they've used 3 snaps, and I still get to hold up Spell Pierce for as good as all the good it'll do, and Counterspell. Ghostly Flicker. Draws a bunch. Yeah, I mean, I want to counter that. Even if they have a Counterspell, I can't Spell Pierce it, though. Draws 3. I think we're going to let it go. Would you believe me that I've seen Affinity decks that recovered and won a game after getting Dusted twice? I've played against opponents that I've Dusted 3 times and lost to. So, like, yeah, absolutely. It doesn't happen often. Usually the second one will win. But, yeah, no, like, Affinity is a very powerful deck through even Dust to Dust. I understand that. But that doesn't mean that sometimes you get Masked Vandal once on turn 2 and you lose the game, though, right? So it is a big drawback. Even if sometimes you can wiggle out of it. Deep Analysis. I could try to, like, Vapor Snag a Sunscape Familiar, just make it so their mana's worse. I don't know if that's very good, but what else am I using this Vapor Snag on? Not a lot. Yeah, let's try it. Theoretically, I mean, if we did this and then this makes them lose a life, and then I could tap down both of these guys and I could just kill them. They're gonna Ephemerate. They have an Ephemerate, it seems. Maybe they won't use it. Affinity is such an anomaly to me because at face value, Affinity doesn't look like a tier 1 deck. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to qualify for sure. Do I Ephemerate? Or do I Counterspell this? Probably not. Probably don't care. I guess they were going to discard anyway, so maybe I'm just giving them a free card to use. Whatever. Another Vapor Snag. Maybe I should have slept this. I mean, I don't think they're going to... Yeah, then they would have had to chump with one of these, maybe. If they have a Ghostly Flicker, maybe they don't care. Yep, there's the Flicker. Do I care? They draw a bunch. Now I just have some counterspells. I guess if I Vapor Snag this, they won't be able to Ephemerate it as well. So I'm preventing 2 triggers, kind of. When you dust to dust them 3 times, you think you got the win in the bag. Then they play a Wellspring into a Dispute into Blood Fountain to play their threats back, and now you're on the back foot again. Yeah, I mean, it's a good deck that its strength is that cards cost very cheap and they draw a lot of cards, but I don't know. It is definitely a tough deck to deal with sometimes. I think we'll just hold up 2 counter spells. I don't want to play a Serpent here. Right, they can... I was trying to keep that in mind, that they could keep this Serpent tapped, and then I forgot about it. Ephemerate, just so that it goes to their grave. Shenanigans, yeah, that's a good way to blow up a bunch of artifacts. God Fears Faith. Archaeomancer. So I could counter this, or I could let it resolve, and then they try to cast something else off of it, like a Snap. Then I counter that. Ghostly Flicker, I guess, actually. They have to use an extra mana for that. Yeah, I think I let it go. Philology Archaeologist. They find a Cryogen, which they cast, which is going to keep this tapped down for longer, but I'm going to let it go. They floated this red earlier because I think they thought they needed more for the Archaeomancer, so that might burn them. Mortuary Mire. I knew they were going to have one of those because otherwise they could mill out. Put back Archaeomancer. So they have a Ghostly Flicker, but we have a Spell Pierce for it. And then double counter spell, I guess. We're just going to attack, let them chump with Archaeologist or whatever they want. Mill them. No, with the Thought Scour. Yeah, it's probably wise. Get rid of their Archaeomancer that they just put on top. Then I'm not holding up as many counter spells, but I still have 2. Plus, I mean, they get closer to milling out, but with the Mortuary Mire, Ghostly Flicker, they're never going to mill out. But yeah, I guess getting rid of the Archaeomancer is probably a good idea. Sure, we'll try that. They're going to try to snap the Cryptic Serpent in response, which I'm going to Spell Pierce. You haven't used your Deep Analysis yet? No. I think that got shuffled back in or something, or maybe it's still in my deck. But yeah, I think I still have it somewhere. Tapping something doesn't matter, so I might as well play a Delver. Yeah, theoretically I could mill them out with, let's see, I have used only 2 Thought Scours, so I have 2 more Thought Scours and a Deep Analysis in my deck. They have an Archaeologist, which is going to mill them 3 more. Gets back a Ghostly Flicker, though. That's bad, because they have 2 of those in their hand now. Black Mage's Rod. I guess that's their win con. If I let this resolve, then I die, because they have double Ghostly Flicker. I can only counter 1, and they can flicker it infinitely. I wasn't expecting them to actually be playing something black, so if they have a counterspell for this or whatever, I'll just lose. But I have to try Jolted Awake. Perfect. If they get it back, they can Ghostly Flicker the Archaeomancer and the Island infinitely, and I'll take infinite damage. So that's fun. Envelop. What does that even do? Just Lorien? That's not good enough. Hydroblast hits their counterspells, plus they're going to bring in blue blast or red blasts. Probably. Gut Shot hits their black mages, but by that time they've won the game anyway, so I don't think that matters. So we don't have basically anything to do here. I think we just need a better hand. Spell Pierce could be okay. We just need to be able to counter the familiars, which I wasn't fully anticipating, so that might have been part of the problem. Vapor Snag did not seem very good, actually. Let's bring in 2 Hydras over those and see if this helps. Alright, we'll go first. Starting with the Delver, and then Brainstorm is decent, so we'll keep this one. I mean, I'm pretty sure the splashing for red is actually supposed to make this matchup better, but I know that in general, Familiars is supposed to be a good matchup for Terror. That said, I'm not the most experienced Terror pilot, and I always have trouble against Familiars because I never know what I'm doing. Alright, I guess we'll just flip a Delver next turn too. Seems good. But yeah, it's supposed to be good for us, but it's possible the red makes it worse. Plus I think we just didn't draw perfectly. I don't know. And they're playing an off-brand of Familiars with like Cryogens and stuff. Not that that's unheard of, but it's not always the most familiar. But we do get to flip both of these really quick. That's pretty cool. Let's ponder, try to find a counterspell. Sleep of the Dead. I guess I get to mill that for free. It could be relevant. They could get like we didn't see any Muldrafters. They might not be playing them. I guess we'll keep it. Can probably play the Serpent next turn no matter what. And free Sleep of the Dead for the Serpent seems good. I don't know. Archaeologist. They are going to gain enough life that this is going to like lose. Oh, they mill three lands. That's rough. Okay, well, we won the game. I mean, we had a very good start, and they obviously had a bit of a rough one. I mean, it was mostly fine. It was just the milling 3 lands that made things tough. Well, let's try to get last game here. Excuse me. On the draw, Spell Pierce, not great. I mean, this can be kind of a fast Cryptic Serpent, but like that's it. It's not even a terror, so it doesn't have ward. No real interaction. I think we're gonna mulligan this one. I think this one's way better. 2 snakes. Maybe I just go for 1. I put back the Serpent, and because I feel like Hydroblast for the terror is probably pretty important. I don't know. Oops. Yeah, land drop. I was going to say the fact that they're staring at 2 flip delvers and not conceding is bad news for you. Yeah, I mean, I think because they were gaining life off the God Pharaohs, they gained an extra turn than they otherwise would have. So I think that was the main thing, was like, they could have maybe gained control of the game, but seemed tough. We'll brainstorm. Okay. Put back Lorien Hydro. Or just land and then don't mill the land. Because I kind of want all our spells, and I think milling 2 lands, or 2 lands essentially is a mistake here. I think we do this, and then I just draw 1 back, which I guess means I should have probably just kept the Lorien, because I might cycle it here, and then Thought Scour, and I could hit more. Could hit an extra spell, maybe? I don't know. Lorien revealed, finds an island, Cryogen Relic. They have a snap in hand. I think we'll Thought Scour. I don't think I want to use a counterspell, but if I got like a Spell Pierce, I would. Another counterspell. We hit Lorien, Sleep of the Dead. That's decent. So let's just pass. I can cycle Lorien, and then if I counter something here, I can play 1 mana Terror next turn. If we don't, that's fine. We'll just cycle, and I can play a Serpent, but they can snap it, which is fine. Yeah, I think we'll do that. This stream alone has spent 80% of my phone battery. Catch you in the VOD. I will see you later, Shadeblade. Good luck to your phone recovering. They have an Ice Tunnel. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, if Mortuary Mire is the only way they can gain black for their Black Mage's Rod, that seems tough. But, well, we'll swing for 6. I feel like they'll probably just take it and Cryogen it down. Maybe they'll go for a Ghostly Flicker or something, or a Snap. No, they take it. So I could Terror, but then I can't double counterspell. So I think I just Delver, and then I have double counterspell. And once I use a counterspell, then I'll have Terror for 1. Ghostly Flicker. Yeah, we're going to counter that one. Could have a Red Blast. I think I'll just blast it back. It's just too much card advantage. I know they have a Snap, so they can like get rid of our Serpent or something, but I don't know. Draw 3, or rather draw 2 plus like a look at 3 and draw 1. It seems too good. I don't know. They're going to snap the Serpent. Fam's such garbage to play against. Definitely not my favorite deck to play against. Pick up the Flicker. Delver flips off a Brainstorm. That's decent. Well, I think we just try to Cryptic, Terror, hold up Counterspell, and then we have Sleep of the Dead next turn. Archaeologist, we're going to let go. They mill a Deep Analysis. Not one I'm too concerned with right now. Really expensive since they don't have... They choose not to get it, actually. That makes sense. Because they want it in the graveyard. Jolted Awake, Sunscape Familiar. Have they played a land this turn? No, which means they could still have a Ghostly Flicker. I know they could have a Ghostly Flicker if they have the Familiar, but I have a counterspell for it, so I think we're going to let it go as much as I don't want them to have a Familiar. Right, they don't have a land, it looks like. I could Sleep of the Dead and counter. If I sleep Archaeologist, they only have to block 1, so they still block here, so I think I'm just going to Brainstorm, see if I draw another counterspell or anything else relevant. Some lands. Probably play that Lorien next turn. Swing with the team. I mean, I can't imagine they're not going to go for a double block Ghostly Flicker. Maybe they just play it safe and chump, and then crack the Relic on this. That is safer for sure. But if they're chumping, they should probably do it with the smaller guy. So yeah, if they're blocked like this, maybe they're double chumping, because I feel like they'd want an Archaeomancer in there. I don't know. Alright, they are blocking with the Archaeomancer. Still with the bigger Archaeologist, which is, again, not the one they want to jump with / Flicker, which they realize. Alright, block like that. I can't imagine there's not a Ghostly Flicker now. Or a Snap. Sure. Snap untaps. If I counter this, all they have left is Ghostly Flicker, which I get to kill these 2. Unless they have another Snap. If they have another Snap, and they snap something else, like this, after I... excuse me. After I've countered, untap, Ghostly Flicker these, that seems really bad. You know, I think if the Archaeomancer's off the field, I'm fine with that. If they want to snap it back and then recast it, I can counter it on the way down, hopefully. Yeah, now they're going for the Ghostly Flicker. And if I counter this, then they Archaeomancer it back. So I'm not going to do that. And they do get to double Flicker. Okay, well, they found a Flicker anyway. So that's annoying. And a Lightning Bolt. Just definitely going to kill this Aberration. We're still in blocks, too. So they can just kill it now before even damage has been dealt. That's really annoying. There's no world where I can afford to counter that. I have a Lorien on top. I think I'm going to tap one of these down while I have the mana to do so. They have a Jolted Awake for a Familiar. And then they get to play Archaeomancer. I guess that's fine. I think I have to counter the Mancer. Deep Analysis. Snap the Serpent. Well, I'm going to counter that. They can Mancer, but then they can't do much else. If they have another Snap or whatever, I can't do much about it. Or a Spell Pierce or something. They do have another Snap. I mean, they have infinite Flickers on the Archaeomancer, but they don't have a payoff of any kind. I'm drawing a Lorien, but what does that actually do for me? It costs all my mana, and maybe I draw a counterspell, but I don't think that's good enough. I think I got a mental note here. Draw for turn. We get a counterspell. We got a mental note. Deep analysis. They have 2 ghostly flickers in hand. Yeah, we're definitely dead. They're going to use 1. We're forced to counter it. They flicker again next turn. We're going to die. It doesn't matter. Alright, let's see if we can get a 2-3 with this deck. I knew this deck was terrible in the format. No, I'm just kidding. Always feels bad when you lose against FAMs. Yeah, it does. That is probably the deck in the format that I don't understand how to win against the most. Not saying I've never won against it, of course, but at some point they just have so much intricate overlapping stuff, especially with a counterspell deck where it's like, oh, I could counter this or this or this, and anything that I counter doesn't feel like I win the game from that. Alright, we are against something red. Kessig, Flame Breather. Brainstorm. Put back Double Sleep, but I don't think I can afford to mental note one of them because I want to hold up a counterspell, because if they just like slam a Gutter Snipe when I tap down to 1 mana, I'm going to die. So I'm going to have to draw one of these back, but that's fine. Attack for 1. They pass. Well, now I'll mental note once, maybe twice. I'll probably just do once and then... I was going to say Cycle Lorien, but we draw an island. For Mismatching Mountains, what a psycho. For real. We got to take him down. Yeah, let's cycle the island, the Lorien. At least I didn't have to go up against Naya Gates today. I thank God every day I don't have to play against Naya. It's just too tough. I would never survive. Faithless Looting. That's fine. You have to beat your opponent now on principle alone. I agree. And I simply will. Sheer willpower. It will happen. Attack for 1. I can mental note, which is just like shooting in the dark. Our hand is so medium, I think I'd rather save it for like a Brainstorm. Alright, we get a Cryptic Serpent, which I can play and then hold up Counterspell. I know you can. I certainly will do it. Summon all my power. Lightning Bolt? No, I'm gonna die. I mean, I probably am gonna die, to be honest, but what are you gonna do? Lava Dart, so I'm at like 11 right now. Grab the prize, discarding Fiery Temper. Well, I'm gonna take a bunch. Luckily, they have to pay for the Temper, and then I get to Spell Pierce to grab the prize. But we're gonna take 5 off of that first. So down to 8. 6 with the Lava Dart. So I guess if they have like a Bolt and a Fire Blast, I'll just die, but what are you gonna do? Hope that doesn't happen. There's the Fire Blast. Don't have another Spell Pierce. Gotta have something to cast from hand. Maybe a Faithless Looting. Another Fire Blast. Why not? They always have the second Fire Blast. So here, if I had a Spell Pierce, that'd be pretty cool, but I don't. Alright, a bunch of Hydros. Get rid of Deep Analysis. Sleep. Vapor Snag. Mono red player contemplating for 10 minutes if they should cast Lightning Bolt while the opponent is at 3 life. I feel that a lot. Because, man, do they do that a lot. It feels... I know it's, sacrificing your lands, it's a Fire Blast, but, like, you're doing it. So, just do it. They really thought I had foil. Exactly. And I can't blame them, because I would play foil. I would be that guy. We got Brainstorm. 2 snakes is kind of a lot, but we have a Hydro and a Deprive. Alright. And we have Brainstorm and Lorien, which is also decent. Looting. That's not fair. It's too good. Fire Blast and Snacker. Brainstorm. Envelop, land, Blue Blast. Perfect. I'm going to put back Deprive and Serpent, I guess. Probably not going to try to shuffle or anything now that we got our land. I mean, I didn't want to use Deprive to bounce a land, here's the thing, so I'd rather have one of these up. And in case they play like Faithless Looting that I want to envelop, that's really annoying. Maybe I would want to Deprive. In case they did Faithless Looting with a Pyro backup, I wanted to have 2 of these. That was the thing. Another Relic. Well, I guess it's probably good I didn't counter one of them. But now we're never getting these guys out, so I wish I had put them back. I was thinking about putting a Serpent on the bottom, and I didn't. And that was now a mistake, I guess. I still want to hit my land drop, even though the Lorien's going to get exiled, but what are you going to do? Wish I would stop drawing snakes. I mean, with 3 of these, we're like in an okay spot. Oh, I probably should have waited for the Deprive still, because I just more counterspells would have been better. Yep, just making mistakes. I'm going to envelop that, as I don't want the Snacker coming back. And I'm going to kill that, I guess. Exile our graveyard. Ponder is decent. I want lands and counterspells. There's a land and a counterspell, but at the cost of taking another terror. The terrors are so bad. When I want terrors, I can't find them, and when I don't want them, that's all I can find. Problem is the counterspells don't even do enough because they can just start flashing back Faithless Lootings to get the snacker back. I'm gonna put this in any order. If they didn't have the Faithless Lootings, then, and I knew, oh, I could just stave off everything they can do with Hydroblast, then I probably would. Hydro and counterspell. But seeing as we know they can just fight through that, eventually get the snacker back, I don't think it's worthwhile. Third relic, why not? This is why I just want lands. Like, I literally am gonna have to cast these for 7 mana. Maybe 6 if I cantrip one of them in the exact same turn. They plot a highway robbery. Alright, next turn, if there was no Pyro, I would love like a Lorien into another island plus something else. That'd be good. Do I Hydro the highway robbery is the question. Or the Faithless Looting? Definitely not the looting. It's not even card advantage, it's card disadvantage. I mean, from their graveyard, it's not card disadvantage. And I know it gets back the snacker, but it's going to come back at some point anyway. Discard a Lava Dart in a mountain. Give me a Lorien. Thought Scour. Yeah, I mean, I want to hit a land drop or something. I actually hit Envelop Counterspell, so I could play a Terror. I could play a Cryptic Serpent, but it dies to 1 Pyroblast, so I think I'd rather get the Terror out. And if I play anything else, it gives them the opportunity to do something. So yeah, I think I just got a Terror here. That was somewhat lucky, because now our whole graveyard gets exiled, but that was pretty decent, to be honest. Play a Mountain. They have a Flame Breather. They still have the Highway Robbery. Probably going to use that now. Double Flame Breather, and then Robbery. Okay, pretty good. Take 2. Sack a Mountain. They didn't attack with a snacker. I guess they can do that after, so it doesn't matter. Or maybe they're leaving it back to jump, but I feel like attacking makes more sense. Flashback Lava Dart. Okay. We're at 13. We draw an island. So we're at 13. Question is, do I Hydroblast a Flame Breather, or do I save it for a spell, like a Fire Blast? Also, if I Mental Note, I need to hit 2 spells again to be able to cast a Serpent and also Hydroblast, and only 1 spell if I don't want to Hydroblast. I mean, we got a Mental Note because I could draw a bunch of things that change the math. I would love to hit 2 spells, obviously. We hit a Counterspell and a Thought Scour, so I can cast a Cryptic Serpent. Then they can take the graveyard. Combat Note, Hydro Kessig. I wanted to do the note first just to see if I'd get like another Hydro or like, you know, figure stuff out. But yeah, I'm going to attack and I'm going to probably kill a Flame Breather. Yeah, I think that's probably right. If they have all the burn, it's probably going to counter just about as much damage to kill this as it is to counter a burn spell. But if they have mostly the card draw, then it's going to significantly reduce their damage. Yep, they're taking forever to figure it out, but they're going to Relic our graveyard. Swing for 5. Blow up a Flame Breather and pass. Alright, we're doing okay. I could go for another counter spell of some variety, like a Hydro. I mean, perfect thing would be like another Mental Note into 2 spells, so I get out my 3rd Serpent, and then I draw a Hydro. They Lightning Bolt us. Swing for 2. Pass. Okay. We get a Brainstorm. I guess I should Brainstorm first, because I might want to put back the Serpent and then shuffle them away if I get like a bunch of counter spells I want to keep. They Relic us when the Brainstorm's not even in the grave, so that's cool. Terror, Thought Scour. Probably going to crack a Relic here, I would guess. If we attack with both, they get to attack back. I mean, I have to find a counter spell of some sort. Yeah, we get rid of these 2. Let's go to combat here, actually, because, well, combat, I was thinking maybe they'd use the Relic since they got priority, but then and then I could Thought Scour, but now I actually don't know if I want to hit with both because I don't necessarily know if I'm going to get a way to deal with this. I think I have to hit with both, though, because if I only hit with one, then I have no guarantee to deal lethal next turn, so yeah, we got to do this. They are going to Relic us here, so this was the idea, was now I get to Thought Scour and get rid of a Serpent rather than a spell. Of course, I drew a Serpent anyway, which is great. Why dead? I don't know what that means. Is that you dead? Because we're not yet. Bolt and Fire Blast is exactly lethal, unfortunately. I mean, Bolt and Fire Blast is way beyond lethal. Bolt and Fire Blast would be 9 damage with this Flame Breather, plus the Snacker can attack. I have a Ponder that I'm hoping to find a counterspell off of. That's pretty much all I have to go off of. We do have 2 things. I could play a Terror for 5, but that's not going to be better than maybe finding a counterspell. Plus, they clearly didn't have Bolt Fire Blast because they would have used those. So I get a Blue Blast here. So I could blast the Flame Breather. We take 2 from the Snacker, and they still need 2 spells, a Lightning Bolt and a whatever. Whereas if I hold this and counter something, yeah, I should probably just kill the Flame Breather. Yeah, opponent Fire Blast. Yeah. So I mean, I could just keep the Ponder and then Ponder again. I don't know if that really matters. It fills our graveyard more, which I'm not sure is relevant. Don't think there's a reason to do it or not to do it. I don't know. We'll just keep the blue blast. So if I kill this, I don't know if it's any better than not, because then we just go to 4, but then I have a counterspell for the first thing, which if it's a lava dart, that doesn't matter. I guess I can kill this, and then I can play the serpent if they don't crack a relic, which might make it better if they can get like another blocker. All right. Or no, I have a... Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, unless they crack a relic in response, which would be wise, but... All right. There's a very good chance we're dead, but there's no guarantee. They couldn't kill us before. They're going to crack a relic. So yeah, I mean, they could find a bolt plus a fire blast. They could find a lava dart and a lightning bolt or whatever. But I think we maximized our chance to win. Best we could. Even through 3 relics of Progenitus. We have 3 snakes on board. They're going to grab the prize here. Yep, so they need to find a bolt and a mountain or a fire blast. And we won. See, we were not dead. Not dead at all. Lucky? This game is a lot of luck. Yeah, maybe I got lucky. That is part of the game. I think I also played appropriately to try to make it so that I could get lucky and survive. But yeah, I mean, better lucky than good. A lot of counterspells in this hand. That's pretty good. Sometimes you draw well, sometimes your deck says no. Yeah, exactly. We've been plenty unlucky with our draws sometimes, and they just got unlucky there. Plot a robbery. We're just gonna Thought Scour, Mental Note, mill a Hydroblast. Would have been good, but our hand's pretty well stacked already. They only have 4 cards. They must have mulliganed once. Yeah, just once. Grab the prize. Well, we're gonna Spell Pierce that. If they have a Hydro or a Pyro, we have a Hydro. No, just gonna let it go. We'll Mental Note, hit 2 Brainstorms so I can place some creatures. Talk about lucky. This is lucky. Look, my hand is all counter spells and a Thought Scour. If they had Relic, then they have Relic. I'm not going to let them get a draw 2 off, just because they might have a Relic. We will Hydro. We won through 3 Relics last game. So I'm not saying Relic isn't good. It's great. It was hard to win through the 3. But I'd much rather counter or grab the prize. I could have Hydroblasted to grab the prize or something, but don't think I needed to. We'll counter this, and... we'll just hold this. I could maybe find like a terror off of it or something, but our graveyard's already stacked. Let's just hold up our counterspell mana. Faithless Looting. I think I'll let that one go. If they get some Fiery Tempers, I don't care about that. If they mill a bunch of snackers and stuff, I can counterspell the next draw spell. Yeah, like a Fiery Temper, it's fine. Not a big deal. Another Blue Blast, perfect. Since they didn't discard any snackers, I don't think I even care about a flashback Faithless Looting. I will counter a Gutter Snipe though. They have a Pyroblast. I think I am going to Blue Blast this. I could counterspell. Blue Blast is generally better, but I'm going to be wary of the Relic because I do need to find some terrors to finish off the game here, and counterspell can counter that, so play an island. All you need to win is 4 counterspells in hand. Exactly. Like, I don't see why people want this deck to be banned. All you need to do is play about 16 counterspells in your deck and draw like 4 to 6 of them, and it's like easy to win, you know? So it's not that hard, guys. Discard 2 mountains. Mental Note. Sure, we'll try to find a terror off a Mental Note. We did find a serpent. We'll play that. Grab the prize. We'll Hydroblast it. I think this might be the nail in the coffin. Oh no, we're still playing. Deprive. Perfect. Yet another counterspell. Let's see what else they got. Faithless Looting. Yeah, I'm just going to keep letting those go, I think. Discards Lava Dart and Snacker. I got 2 Lava Darts in the grave. I forgot to say I have an emblem somewhere that says you may only draw counter spells, so maybe should have mentioned that, but oops. Relic of Progenitus. Let's counter that. And they have a Faithless Looting. This one brings back a Snacker. Yeah, we'll counter that. Opponent must be thinking they'll run out of counter spells eventually. Yeah, they probably were. I mean, that's how we feel against the burn players. They'll run out of burn spells eventually. And they don't. They never run out of burn spells. Well, we got a 2-3 with the deck. A couple matches felt a little unlucky, although it did just feel kind of tough in the meta. Maybe this isn't the right deck list at the moment. I like some off-meta cards like Deprive and Vapor Snag, which I think Deprive, I think, did some good work. Vapor Snag was a little weak this league. Obviously, we could be playing Murmuring Mystics instead of Delver. There's a number of things you could do, but this is the list that I enjoy playing, so I'll play it. A well-deserved L for the mono-red community. Exactly, and I think we lost to some mono-red earlier in this same league, so, it goes back and forth. But in any case, that's going to be it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.